Welcome back to Irons United. Apologies for that. Something went wrong with the internet connection. Lost Ant up in Scotland. Probably the best place for him. Best place for everyone at the moment. Anywhere away, as far away from West Ham as we can possibly get at the moment. It's been woeful yet again, hasn't it? Ant and I were talking about what's going wrong with the team, etc. Before we got cut off. So let me just sort of recap. So we had the team news where Roberto was starting again. Fredericks was called back into the team with Balbuena, Diop and Creswell at the back. We had Noble and Rice in centre midfield and then attacking lineup. Yarmolenko was dropped for Fornals. Snodgrass and Anderson kept their places alongside Allaire up front. Um, the team selections, I genuinely thought that Noble would get dropped. I thought Lanzini would have actually started, and I was actually surprised that Yarmolenko was dropped for Fornals. Again, a little bit of a bit strange team selections yet again. We don't know what the hell is going on with in Pellegrini's mind when it comes to formations and team selections. And the one thing that Ant was talking about before we got cut off was, it kind of there's no stable team at the moment, and it seems that a lot of people have been saying that no one Pellegrini doesn't know his best lineup. And when he keeps chopping and changing teams, the problem with that is that the players that think they're having a run in the team and then they get dropped for whatever reason, that kind of that kind of puts them a bit on the back burner, I think, and it kind of makes them feel a bit like what the hell's going on, and I think with certain players, I think with the likes of let's start from the back with the likes of Fredericks being dropped and then being recalled. What a big mistake that was, and I mean no one played well today again, but putting Fredericks in and then out and then in and out and no, for no reason when he dropped him for Zabaleta, maybe sort of put something in Fredericks' mind of, does Pellegrini think I'm good enough? He got Balbuena came in for Ogbonna. Absolutely no reason why Ogbonna should have got dropped. Ogbonna is probably one of the few defenders we've got that can actually head the bloody ball out, and we've been really, really suffering with balls into the net this season. Well, not just this season, but for quite some time. And again, we suffered. Two set pieces again. And they scored their goals. So I don't know why Bonner's been dropped. I thought Noble would be dropped, like I said, and I thought we'd go for a more attacking-minded lineup. We were never going to compete with a 4-4-2, which is what Burnley played. We played a 4-2-3-1, which meant our attacking lineup, our defensive midfielders were again outnumbered. And then up front, nothing again. I know a lot of people are sort of having a go at Anderson, etc. And I don't know what the hell's going on. He gets to about the 18-yard box and then he stops and he doesn't know what to do. And with a 4-4-2, all of a sudden, those players are sort of outnumbering him. He hasn't got any options. Creswell wasn't doing any overlaps today, and then Anderson tries to play these clever little balls that just don't get anywhere, and it is absolutely frustrating. So I think the whole team selection yet again, Allaire yet again was isolated. We all thought that we all heard that apparently. Ayeti was going to start up front with Allaire to give him some support. Didn't happen yet again. Really, it's just I can't even be angry anymore. I think I'm just gutted, at the way we're playing at the moment. I think I'm just sort of really gutted at our set piece, the way we're set up, the way we line up, the way we approach a game. It's really quite. It's quite upsetting, really. It's quite upsetting. So let's start. The first goal, stupid punch out by Roberto, which led to a corner. And so it was another set piece on 10 minutes and they scored their goal. But, let's get the controversial bit out of the way first. It shouldn't have been a corner, but that's not the point. We still didn't manage to defend a corner. It's been happening time and time and time again where we're just not defending set pieces, and we were quite poor, quite hapless. Noble then got injured on 18 minutes, and Yarmolenko was brought on in his place, but not Lanzini. So what the fuck is going on? I think we ought to now to know. We ought to be made aware of what exactly is going on. Has he and Pellegrini fallen out? And if so, well then what do we do? You know, to rectify this, because it's damaging the team. So anyway, on 35 minutes, another cross came into the box. Our central defence woefully couldn't get rid of it, and they scored another goal. But thankfully for VAR, it was ruled out. So that was on 35. Then on 41, well, Roberto, you know, he went to throw the ball out, and he put Balbuena into trouble straight away. And Balbuena couldn't control the ball; it went too far ahead of him. They broke. They scored on 41 minutes. So we went into the half time 2-0 down, and you knew that we were never going to come back to that from that. You just knew that no matter what happened in the second half, we were not going to revive ourselves. On 53 minutes, another corner, another goal. Now, again, controversial. The goalie was blocked, and it should have been given for a free kick, but it wasn't. It wasn't given a free kick. VAR gave it, and it was 3-0. On 55 minutes, Anderson finally came off, and Lanzini was brought on. But I don't know. You know, it didn't make any difference. And yet again, despite Anderson being awful this season, you know, he's the only player with any pace up front. So yet again, we brought him off, and we lost any potential threat that we may have had going forward. And then, of course, you know, to add insult to injury, Lanzini came off injured on the 88th minute, with possibly what's going to keep him out for, you know, several weeks anyway. So where do we go from here? Well, I don't think we're going to be seeing Roberto play against Tottenham, do you? I think David Martin is going to come in for that. Now, I don't know, people. I'm going to be genuine and tell you I've got no idea what David Martin is like as a keeper. I don't know if he's going to be any good at crosses. I don't know if he's going to command his defenders, the 18-yard box, or anything like that. The one thing with Roberto is he's a good shot stopper, but that's about it. But when it comes to there being a corner, when it comes to him sort of demanding his 18-yard box, telling his defenders what needs to be done, he gets nowhere, doesn't he? You know, so I will not be surprised that he'll be dropped. Am I a traveller? Yeah, I know my hair's a mess, so apologies for that. Yeah, I think he's going to be dropped. He's going to be dropped for David Martin. Pellegrini's tactics. Pellegrini's tactics, I don't know. Good grief. I don't know what to say about Pellegrini at the moment. And there are going to be a lot of calls. No, you arsehole, I'm not a fucking jippo, cunt. Sorry, I'm responding to someone popping up stupid remarks on my on this video. Pellegrini's tactics are going to... he's lost... I think he's lost the dressing room. I think he doesn't know what his tactics are. He's quite stubborn. You know, a lot of people have been saying play 3 at the back and 5 in midfield, or play 5-3-2 or 3-5-2 or whatever, to give Allaire some support and so on. And we know that he's not going to change. He's going to continue to play 4 at the back, and if he is, he needs to put Diop back on the right side of defence and bring out Ogbonna back in, because he's a natural left-sided centre back. You know, because playing Diop on the left side of the centre backs isn't working. You know, Balbuena yet again hasn't done anything to demonstrate that he's good enough to replace Ogbonna. And I think in the transfer window we're going to have to look for defenders. And in my show tomorrow, I've got a string of transfer stories to bring to you, and a couple of those are about centre backs. So look out for that. So I think he should be playing players in their natural position. So he should put Diop back at centre back on the right and get Ogbonna back in as well. And with regards to centre mid, etc., MGMCD, if all you're going to do is just throw names, etc., why don't you just go and do something else instead? In the centre of midfield, I think we should drop Noble, and I think we should be bringing in another player to play alongside Rice. It ain't going to be Sanchez, and now that Lanzini's out, I think he's going to struggle to. I think he's going to struggle to get players in that position. So I think we're going to carry on with Noble and Rice, but I just don't think it's the right decision to make. But if he does do that, then he's got to play four across midfield. He's got to have a four in midfield, and he's got to have support up front for Allaire, because playing Allaire alone up front isn't working, and it just won't. It will continue to isolate him. It will continue to stress him out. It will continue to stress out the team. We won't be creating chances. So I think he's going to have to change his tactics. And whoever's MGMCD is, can you just piss off, mate? Okay. With regard, so I think he's lost the dressing room. And now I think it looks like, he may go. Now, I've been a supporter of Pellegrini when other fans have been saying that we should actually let him go. But I just wonder now if he's even going to make it to Christmas, because it looks like quite possibly he won't. And who do we get in? Well, goodness me, we're bereft of decent managers at the moment. There is one that's unemployed at the moment, isn't there? Yeah. But will Mourinho come to West Ham? Could be a challenge for him, but let's see what happens. So where do we go from here? Pellegrini needs to change his tactics. We need to start playing a different formation. We need to start supporting Allaire up front. We need to have a stronger midfield. And I think the transfer window is going to be an opportunity if we're not languishing in the bottom three by Christmas time. I think the transfer window is an opportunity to bring players in. There are four positions that we've always said that we need stronger players in: a centre back, a left back, box to box midfielder, and an out and out striker. And they're the four positions we haven't purchased in the summer transfer window, and now that's coming back to bite us. Those are the positions that we should have done. Those are the positions that we should have sorted out in summer, and we didn't. And now we're suffering for it. Creswell and Masuaku, they have a good game, then they go out not having such a great game. They get dropped, they come back, they have a good game, then not such a good game. There's too much inconsistency there. And the centre-back position, Diop looks really shaky throughout the whole season. He's tried playing Diop with Ogbonna. He's tried playing Diop with Balbuena. Neither is working. Should we perhaps drop Diop and play Balbuena and Ogbonna? It's a thought. There's no reason why Diop should keep playing, but I think we need another centre-back. Now, I know Winston Reid has sort of just come back from injury, and he's meant to be being picked for the New Zealand squad. That's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? But I don't think he's the answer either, because he's been out for so long now that you can't just drop him into what could become a relegation fight. I think that would be the wrong thing to do. Central midfield, we need another player in the middle with Declan Rice. It's not Noble. It's not working. And I know a lot of people love Noble, and I know a lot of people think, he says he's Mr. West Ham, etc. But I've said this before with Noble. When push comes to shove and he needs to show leadership, he doesn't show it, and he goes missing sometimes. And in a way, it could be a bit of a blessing in disguise that he's out injured. Because we need to bring someone else in that centre park alongside Rice. And then, of course, the obvious: we're not scoring any bloody goals, so we need an out and out striker. A lot of people say, why did we let Chikorita go? Well, he wanted to go. He didn't want to stay at West Ham. So why keep a player when he doesn't want to stay? But Allaire needs support, and it's evident that a Yeti isn't, that Pellegrini doesn't trust a Yeti enough to play him, and so we need a striker up front. MGMCD, why don't you just fuck off, mate? Okay, because you're just irritating now. Anyway. We need a striker, and again in my show tomorrow night, I'm going to talk about one or two strikers that apparently we have an eye out for. We need strengthening. I hope the board do the right thing and give Pellegrini or whoever else might be in charge by the January transfer window some money to get some more players in. You know, Burnley, they had 7 English players in the team today, a Scot and an Irishman, you know, and it kind of showed in the way they played. They were strong, they were physical. We knew it was going to be a physical game, and we just weren't up for it. We just don't seem to be up for it. You know, they played a traditional way. They played a 4-4-2. They out muscled us. They outnumbered us. They won every ball that we crossed into their penalty area. They won every ball that they crossed into our penalty area. You know, set pieces yet again our downfall. We just don't seem able to. We don't seem able to deal with any set pieces whatsoever. Thanks for hiding MGMCD because he was being a total dick. So leave your comments. Tell us what you think, and tell us what you think about the team. Tell us what you think about Pellegrini. Yeah, I agree. Sean Dyche, you know, it didn't take much, but he had the better tactics over Pellegrini. I agree. Burnley, if Burnley fans are watching this, you deserved your win. You absolutely did deserve your win because we weren't up for it today, and it was almost evident when the team was selected that we weren't going to be up for it. You know, it's all very well West Ham wanting to play, you know, tippy-tappy football. Thanks, Asian J, for reporting him. It's all very well for Pellegrini to want to play tippy-tappy football, but you need some strength in there as well, you know. And now we're all beginning to wonder, you know, about the players that were bought over the summer. Were they the right players, etc., etc.? Who knows? Maybe we didn't need Fornals, and maybe we should have spent that 24 million on an out-and-out striker, or spent that 24 million on a box-to-box midfielder. You know, it's you know, hindsight is a beautiful thing, but and who would have thought after the first 3-4 games of the season that we were going to be in this position? Where do we go from here? I don't know. No, Reiko, I'm glad I didn't, mate. I'm glad I didn't go all the way up to Burnley today. I think I would have been well pissed off. You know, as I've said, we need to strengthen the squad. Needs to strengthen. We've got some youngsters who maybe should be looked at now, because something's got to change. Something really has to change. And if Pellegrini does survive till the January transfer window, I fully expect him to bring in some new players. And if he doesn't, then whoever takes over West Ham, I fully expect any new manager to bring in new players. I can't believe I'm actually, you know, it was before we went off earlier and was suggesting that, you know, he was going to say Pellegrini out. And I was like, yeah, but I'm beginning to defend the indefensible, aren't I? I'm beginning to wonder whether Pellegrini is the tactical genius that we all were hoping and praying for. I don't know, people. It's a shame. Burnley deserved their win. We deserved absolutely nothing, and we got absolutely nothing. You know, I think I feel sorry for the fans travelling all the way up there. It was a long way to go to see that performance, and I was looking at Facebook at half time. Some fans were already leaving. They already sort of left the stadium at half time because they knew that we weren't going to get anything out of this. Leave your comments. Thanks for watching. I wish it was better news. We're going to the international break now. We're going to the international break now with yet another defeat, and you know, let's hope the international break is good for us, because next up is Tottenham. I think we're going to be seeing a new goalie in place. Sublix, good grief. We got a troll online, so I keep getting distracted by stupid messages. I think we're going to see another goalie in place of Roberto. I think our third choice, David Martin, is going to start, and let's see what else Pellegrini does for that game, because if we lose against Spurs at home, and then we got the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal, etc., where are we going to be? Are we going to be in the bottom 3 by Christmas? And you know what happens to teams when they're in the bottom 3 by Christmas. Anyway, that's me. I'm kind of gutted. Sorry about the arseholes that were just coming out with utter shite during the comments that they were putting during this review. Thank you for watching, and well, come on you irons.